Hi, today we will learn about polynomials. There are three subtopics under polynomials. 6.1 will be taught in the lectures, 6.2 is taught in the tutorials and in the lectures, 6.3 is taught in the tutorial. For this lecture 2, you will learn about the division of polynomials. In the previous lecture, you have learned about adding polynomials, subtracting polynomials, and multiplying polynomials. But now, how to divide polynomials? What is division? Division is just dividing polynomials. So in this lecture, we will focus on dividing polynomials. The general formula of dividing polynomials is this, which means that this is polynomial divide with the divisor, dx. You have seen this in the tutorials, and is equal to the quotient plus with the remainder divide with the divisor. Or you can also write it as this highlighted green formula. Well, how to get that green formula? It's just multiplying with the divisor. Multiply each of the terms with the divisor. That's how you get that green formula. Okay, so if we have a polynomial of degree 2, for example, then our divisor must be of the degree less than n or equal to n. So divisor can be degree of x power 2 or x power 1 or also a constant. But the divisor cannot be 0. And then for the quotient, it will be of degree n minus r, which means that, for example, our n here, polynomial is 2, and then our degree r, which is just the divisor, is degree 2, then our quotient will be n minus r, 2 minus 2, which is 0. Next, if our divisor is x power 1, which means the r is just 1, so the quotient will be degree n minus r, 2 minus 1 is just 1, which is just x power 1. And then if the divisor is constant, which means the power of the degree is 0, so the quotient will be just n minus r, which is 2 minus 0. The quotient will be x power 2. And then the remainder will be the degree less than r minus 1, or just 0. 0 means that there's no remainder. When dividing polynomials, the quotient and remainder can be found by using long division. For example, 20 divided with 3. You have learned this in primary school. So use long division, 20 divided with 3, where you get 6 there, because 6 times 3 is 18. And then you write 18 underneath 20, and then you minus those two numbers. The answer is 2 as the remainder. 6 is the quotient, and we write in this form, quotient, 2 is the remainder, and then 3 is the divisor. Or you can also split it up, 6 plus 2 over 3, that's where you get the formula, the general formula. Look at example 1. When we try to divide the polynomial by x plus 1, and then we want to write in this form. The first step is to write in the long division form. Remember to write the polynomial here and then the divisor outside. Next, how to find the quotient. To find the quotient, we have to look at the highest degree of the polynomial and also the highest degree of the divisor, the one that have circled with green. So divide those two as shown to find the term that we will write at the quotient. So when you divide this, x squared divided with x, you just get x. So just write x on top of x squared. and then multiply. X times x plus 1 is just x squared plus x. Write it underneath x squared minus 4x. Okay, and then please write a big bracket there, because this minus sign is for all of the terms. So x squared minus x squared is 0. Negative 4x minus x, you will get negative 5x. So what's left is plus 3. Bring it down. Now, we want to divide negative 5x plus 3 with x plus 1. How to find what's the term that we should write at the quotient part? So do the same thing. Look at the highest degree here now. Divide it with the highest degree of the divisor. So negative 5x over x. Divide these two, you will get negative 5. So that's what you should write at the quotient part. Next, negative 5 multiplied with the divisor. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. So write it underneath it. Now, put a minus sign and a big bracket over there. So negative 5x minus negative 5x is 0. Make sure that the first term here must be 0. The first term of everything that we want to subtract must be 0. So the next term behind it can be any number. So 3 minus negative 5 is 8. So that's our remainder. So x minus 5 is our quotient, 8 is our remainder, x plus 1 is our divisor. So how to write it? It should be polynomial px equal to the divisor times with the quotient plus with the remainder. That's the formula. So just write the divisor times with the quotient, which is x minus 5, on top of the long division, and then plus with the remainder, which is 8. Now try example 2. Okay, let's look at example 3. Remember the steps. Write down the divisor outside and then the polynomial inside of this long division. And then to find your quotient, look at the first term here and also outside. You can just scribble it at the sides. So 2x power 3 divide with x. Divide these two terms and you see that the answer is 2x squared. So write it as your first term of quotient. Next, multiply 2x squared with the divisor. So 2x squared multiplied with x minus 3 is just 2x cubed minus 6x squared. Remember to write the minus outside and then put a bracket. Next, just subtract the terms. Make sure the first term here must be 0. If it's not 0, then that's a problem with your choice of quotient term. So the next term is negative x squared minus negative 6x squared. You will get 3x squared. Now, bring 0x down. Look at your original polynomial. The original polynomial is 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 1. Where does this 0x comes from? Well, I simply add this 0x because I want to make sure all of the degree of the x is written down in the long division. So I have to make sure x power 3, x power 2, x power 1, and also x power 0 is written there. X power 0 is the constant. Why is this important? It's to reduce careless mistakes in the future. And because the polynomial here does not have x power 1 term, so that's why it's 0 times x power 1, which just means nothing. So add in 0x there. And then you don't have to bring minus 1 down because we don't need it yet. There are just 2 terms at the divisor, and there's 2 terms here is enough. Now, how to find the next term of the quotient? Take this number, 3x squared, and divide it with the highest degree of the divisor. And the answer is 3x. So that's what you should write as your next term of quotient. Next, multiply 3x with the divisor, and then 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times negative 3 is negative 9x. Remember to write a minus outside and put a big bracket there. Subtract the terms one by one. Make sure the first term is 0 here. And then 0 minus negative 9x is just positive 9x. Now, you are not done yet because there's still minus 1. Bring it down and do the same to find the next quotient term. This is 9x. Divide it with the divisor, which is x, the highest degree of the divisor. And your answer is 9. Write it as your next quotient term. Now, multiply this with the divisor. So 9 times x is 9x. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. Write a minus sign in front and put a big bracket there. Make sure your first term is 0. 9x minus 9x is 0, so it's correct. So negative 1 minus negative 27 is positive 26. So on top of the long division is what we call as the quotient. X minus 3 is the divisor, 26 is the remainder. Write in the form as given. So it should be polynomial px equal to x minus 3 is the divisor, multiplied with the quotient, write everything down, and add it with the remainder, 26. How to check whether your quotient is correct? You can just simply expand these 2 brackets and plus it with 26. Check whether you get the correct polynomial or not. Try out example 4 and example 5. A tips for you to solve example 5, please make sure that the polynomial is arranged according to order. So this polynomial is 5 plus 4x cubed minus 3x. Make sure you start it with the highest degree of the polynomial. And when you look at this polynomial, it doesn't have all of the degrees. So if it starts with x power 3, you need to have x power 2 as well. But there's no x power 2 there, so just write 0. And then your next term is 3x, negative 3x, and then plus with the last term, which is 5. Write your divisor in front, outside. And now you can solve it as the methods that I've showed you before. Okay, thanks for watching.